Hi, this is Chris from Sweet Acre Koi Farm. In this video, we're going to show you how we went from this overgrown pond that was being taken over by cattails to a pond we could actually see and enjoy watching our koi swim in. Since the prior owner told us that he would just let the cattail grow throughout the summer, and then when fall came, he'd just burn it. We weren't going to do that. We wanted to be able to look at our pond throughout the summer and enjoy seeing our koi swimming. So our kids came by to help us out, and we tried tackling it by hand with many helpers. And it was a daunting task. We had to go foot by foot to try to knock down all the cattail and then somehow pull it out by the root as we got closer to the pond. And we only could get so far, but we did see water. So we were quite happy when we finally reached the water. That kept us going, knowing we were making progress. We even took time out to let Millie have a swim. She loves to swim in the ponds, and she even brought her own little duck toy. We threw it out there a couple of times, let her cool off. It was a hot day, so she thoroughly enjoyed the cool off. But we were exhausted. We'd had enough for the day. We basically didn't get much further than what you see right here. We kind of just played around a little bit in the water and pretty much called it good for the day. We tried before the winter hit to clean up the north side of the pond and maybe get some more cattail out of there. It was a daunting task for one person, and we didn't get very far. But knowing that fall was coming, which means winter was coming, we figured that was good enough. We could at least see the pond from the house. We could at least be able to check on the koi and make sure that they would winter okay. So it kind of made us feel okay to not finish it. And that also did give us time throughout the winter to see what we were going to do about how to get rid of that cattail next summer. We did notice that there was something in the water. And my husband took a net and went out there and found a snapping turtle. Not something you want to see in your koi pond. So he was quite pissed that he was getting evicted, but he belonged in the wild, and that's where he was returned. Knowing the pond was now as far as we could get it this year, we sat back and tried coming up with a new plan on how to tackle the rest of the cattail come spring. But in the meantime, we thoroughly enjoyed being able to walk out there and see the koi, which it was getting so cold now that they pretty much wanted to stay at the bottom of the pond. So we pretty much knew that the season was over. And we knew that winter was coming soon. And some of you sharp-eyed, eagle-eyed people that have watched our videos can see a farmhouse across the street with a barn. And you know I don't have any neighbors. But more about that in a minute. Winter's here, and it sure does look beautiful. It comes and goes, it melts, and you think spring's here, and then it totally draws you in, that you think, wow, maybe it's not going to be that bad of a winter. Maybe it's not going to be that cold. I mean, look at that. You would think that spring's going to be here soon, but nope. That's the fun part about living in Illinois. You never know when you're going to get hit by the white stuff. So we pretty much just sat back, and enjoyed the view. After all, this was our first winter here, so we were pretty open-minded about anything that we could get into, get whatever we could see, whatever shots, pictures, whatever that we could take. It was all new to us. So we welcomed the view, we welcomed everything with open arms, happy to see it. But this was really spring, and here it is. The puppies knew it was coming. We got them, picked them up in the January, and they were a welcome distraction from dealing with the pond in the front. Finally, when spring did hit, we decided, you know what? We will go ahead and burn the rest of the cattail down. But we knew we had to get those roots out, because without getting the roots out, they were just going to come back. Speaking of coming back, we had geese come back to the pond. We knew they knew it was here. It was nice to see them come back. Yes, you're looking at Dave the Digger. He's our local crane guy that will come out and pretty much do anything with a backhoe, a crane, bobcat, you name it. Whatever you need him to do, he will do it. This is one of his the bigger diggers, is when he brought it out. And he did a really good job of pulling out the muck on the side, and he dug deep enough and wide enough to get pretty much all the cattail root balls out, which we were extremely, extremely happy to see go, knowing that we just had to deal with the dirt left on the bank. But more of that to come. He also had his buddy come. Yeah, looks like a bombshell went off in our yard. It looks like a meteor hit our yard, but that's all right. His buddy came by with him, and he got into the bobcat and kind of smoothed everything out, and it didn't look so bad. But yeah, here's a little video we did of him by the pond. But yeah, we were happy to see some progress happening. Yeah, there he is with a, whatever you call it. I think it's called a bobcat. But yeah, he came out and smoothed everything out, which helped us out immensely, because it would have all had to been done pretty much by hand by us. So we were very happy to see his friend show up to help him out on this job. And yeah, we thought, wow, we're well on our way. This is great. We've got the pond cleared out. Everything looks good, and we're just going to have to replant grass, and we can call it a day. Well, that didn't happen. This is where our story starts to go south. Some of the cattail balls were still in there, which had to be removed. Even though the geese kept coming by to pick through them, we had to remove all those cattail balls by hand, which were really, really heavy. And more geese came by, so they were not happy with the fact that we were constantly messing around by the pond. But we also knew that we could see, it appeared to us anyway, that we were seeing water go down. And we couldn't figure that out. So we pressed on, went ahead and cleaned up the shoreline, We could, do whatever we can do on the shore to clean everything up. We turn that into compost in the back. And yeah, we were shocked to see our neighbor's barn in full blaze. Just pretty much every department in our area showed up to help. And sadly, it was a total loss. The neighbors eventually decided, after several barn fires, to demolish the house. Now it's a cornfield, so we have no more neighbors. Back to the pond, though. Having to fix all of the ruts and everything that the digger put in there, the backhoe, we noticed this. You're looking at it, a broken drain tile. So that's why we started seeing the pond go down and down and down and down. And we couldn't understand, since it was below the exposed drain tile, why it kept going down. It was very upsetting, and we were very angry about it. However, we did not know there was another leak. We did not know there was another drain pipe. We saw the pond continue to drain and drain and drain. We continued to check the fish to make sure they were okay, and they were. We continued watering the grass that we had planted to try to fix the yard, and came up with a plan to put hydraulic cement over the drain, which is what we found out from the prior owner was originally on it. So the one drain that we could see, we went ahead and put hydraulic cement up over it. And we had taken probably about a month before we could figure out where the other hole was. We went ahead and dumped extra sodium bentonite down there because we couldn't see a pipe. We could only see a hole at the time. So now we're checking the hydraulic cement side to see if that fixed the problem. And it worked for a while. You can see the water going up on the hydraulic cement. So we spent weeks and weeks and weeks watching that cement, and we were testing, we could figure out the pond level from looking at the cement. We actually saw frogs starting to come back, everything. It was great. Sprinkled a little bit more sodium bentonite over the area just as a precaution. And then it started draining again. And we could see that over the course of the next few weeks, we could see it going down and down and down. So it worked for a while, but eventually the dam gave out, and the pond drained for a second time, exposing the leak again. This time, we were able to dig away at the dirt, at the muck around this pipe, and we were able to put hydraulic cement on that pipe. And so the pond started filling, which with each rainfall, it started going back up. And we knew it was time, it was okay to start adding our clay layer back to the banks. So we had Dave the Digger come back and smooth out all that clay and pack it down. And we had to make the banks safer. They were very steep banks originally. So he also smoothed them out for us. That way it wasn't such a drop. So between having to clean up the yard and fix all the ruts, which was a lot, dealing with a draining pond and fixing the drain pipe, and watching our fish suffer in a little bit of water, it was finally nice to see the pond going up. the fish seemed happier too. I bet they did. So then we went ahead and got the Harley rake. This Harley rake is used to help break down the hard dirt, smooth it out into little pieces so it takes to grass seed a lot easier. My husband had to go around the whole entire pond with that Harley rake. Then we got our shipment of black dirt. And as you can see, he had to go all the way around and put all the black dirt down before we could seed for the grass. That was a daunting task in and of itself, but he was determined to get it done. Then we seeded and got all the seed put down around the pond. And because we are out here in the country, yes, we are very well aware of how windy it is out here. So we went ahead and had to put down erosion control blankets all the way around the pond. Without them, not only will we have birds eating all our seed, the wind would just carry it away. So it was the only safe option to protect that precious grass seed. We went ahead and put sprinklers every 15 feet on a hose that was linked all the way around the pond so we can water the entire area, one half of the pond at a time. Because of water pressure, it wouldn't water everything at one time. So I guess you call it daisy chaining the hose to one side to another, but it worked. It definitely worked. It got that grass growing, so we were extremely grateful about that. So it was really nice to see our vision coming true. The pond was rising, the grass was in place, it was protected. Now it was just a matter of waiting it out for Mother Nature to take over and get that grass going. And a little cleanup along the way. And of course, my plants were dying to be planted. But enough about that. But look, we finally got the grass to grow. There it is, coming in all its glory. We were so very happy to finally be able to see the pond we envisioned. Yes, it was a lot of work. Yes, it took a year to get it to this point, but it was so very well worth it. And that's our pond story. We hope you enjoyed watching. It was definitely a journey. If you enjoyed watching the video, you could click the thumbs up and maybe subscribe and click the notification bell. Thank you so very much for watching. Till next time.